Good day, everybody. We are covering Chapter 11. This is a long chapter, a lot of slides, a lot of notes, several videos. I'll try to be as concise and to the point as possible without straying with stories or whatever to keep your video time under an hour if possible. We'll do our best. Chapter preview for our topic of social psychology. These are the things that we're going to be covering. Take a look at that. I'll speed this up. Social psychology is the study of how people think about, influence, and relate to others. Socializing, right? It's relating to others. Examines many topics in psychology in a social context. Now think about this. We're covering this in one lecture. There's a whole class on social psychology if you're interested in the details of what you're learning here. As a matter of fact, there are people who are social psychologists who just focus on this topic itself. So you can study lots and lots of stuff of this. We're just going to be touching on the tip of the iceberg of information here. Social cognition, again, thinking, cognition, the thought process, social with other people. This explores how people select, interpret, remember, and use social information. Okay, we're going to talk about these things here: person perception, attribution, the self as a social object, and attitudes. We're going to talk about all these in detail in the upcoming slides with regard to social cognition. First up, person perception, slide number 5. Processes by which social stimuli such as faces are used to form impressions of others. You know, you've done it. You see people, you look at their face. It could be just the way they look, could be the smile, could be their or frown, could be their hair or lack of hair, the type of hair they have, all that kind of stuff. We make a quick impression just by the way we look at them, our first impression. Physical attractiveness, the thought process, this is subconscious, that beautiful is good. This is a stereotype, right? This is what people are thinking of. It's a generalization. Self-fulfilling prophecy of expectations. Self-fulfilling prophecy is that if you think something's going to happen, then you tend to act or do things to help make that actually come true. You've said it before, oh, I'm going to have a tough day, tomorrow's going to be a rough day, and all that kind of stuff. And then next thing you know, it was a tough day. Why? Because you planted that seed in your brain and subconsciously you created that bad day on your own. And then being average as an essential component with regard to attractiveness. First impressions are called the primacy effect. Okay, the first time you see somebody, the first time you watch a TV show, the first time you do anything or involved with anything, could be a game, all that type of stuff. Your first impression of it, that is called the primacy effect. Attribution. There's this attribution theory which basically says that we come up with reasons, we attribute people's behaviors based on our own perceptions. So you can see the definition here. People as motivated to discover underlying causes of behavior to make sense of behavior. So we typically attribute causes of events based on our perception, our thought process. So we have internal and external causes. The internal causes are your traits and abilities, which are part of your personality, your traits. Remember, we talked about that before. And your abilities, the abilities that you have, the skill levels, and all that type of stuff. External, social pressure, money, weather, social situation. These are things that money and weather and these things that are outside of who you are, right? Stable versus unstable causes means that either they are relatively permanent causes or temporary situations, or permanent type situations, or permanent things that could happen over and over again. And then controllable versus uncontrollable causes, whether you have power over something to change or not. We definitely do not have power over the weather. We cannot change the weather, so that is an uncontrollable cause. attributional errors and biases. The actor, this is the person that's producing the behavior, okay? They call that the actor in the psych world. Explanations for behavior in terms of external causes, okay? There are external reasons why they behaved in a certain way, or why they acted in a particular manner in a particular situation. An observer offers a causal explanation of the actor's behavior, explanations in terms of internal causes. So they tend to give reasons due to the actor's own fault. I'll give you an example in the next slide here. So before we get to the bullet points, look at the boxes. The actor, the person who's doing the acting, or the where the error happened, they tend to give external situations explanations of their own behavior. I'm late with my report because other people keep asking me to help them with their projects. Okay, they're explaining their behavior away for external reasons. The observer, now remember, this is attributional error. The observer tends to give internal trait explanations of the actor's behavior, internal with regard to the actor themselves. It says here, she's late with her report because she can't concentrate on her own responsibilities. So we're looking at the actor blaming external causes, the observer internal causes. Okay, to the bullet points. Fundamental attribution error committed by observers explaining actors' behavior, overestimating of the internal traits, so they're overestimating the internal causes of the problem, and an underestimation of external situations, not taking into account that other people may be asking this person for help and distracting them from getting the work done themselves. Heuristics, that's how you say it, heuristics. These are cognitive shortcuts that allow rapid decision making. Basically, after you've been in situations for a while, you make a decision, or you make a thought process based on past experiences. This can play a role in social information processing, helpful, but can lead to mistakes and can lead to stereotypes. So if you see someone with, like back in my day when I was younger, you see someone with tattoos, you're automatically going to be thinking of them in one particular way. Okay, that's a heuristic. These days, many people have tattoos, and I don't know if the majority, but a lot of people do. So it's quite different than back 30 years ago when I was in college. False consensus effect is an overestimation of the degree to which everybody else thinks or acts as we do. So we have a thought process. We act in certain ways, which kind of makes us think that other people should be acting like we do. And that's why there's a discrepancy amongst, say political parties. Everybody should have the same thought process. That's why some people back one candidate, some people back another candidate, and they can't believe that. Why are they backing that candidate? Well, this is the reason. The self as a social object, slide 10. Self-esteem. We all should know what self-esteem is. There's your definition. Positive or negative evaluation of yourself. You're evaluating yourself. So do you have a positive self-esteem, good self-esteem, or poor self-esteem? Positive illusions are the positive views we have of ourselves, not necessarily rooted in reality. This is when someone thinks that they are better than they are, greater than they are, better looking than they are, smarter than they are, more athletic than they are. All these types of things. These are positive illusions. You think you may make comment, that guy's dreaming. She's really dreaming. She's not that good or that hot, or he's not that hot. Those type of things. They have positive illusions of themselves. The self-serving bias. Okay, we should know what a bias is. Tendency to take credit for successes and deny responsibility for failures. So this is when good things happen, you say, hey, I'm responsible for that. We did well because of me. If you do bad, it's like, it's not my fault. They didn't hold up their bargain, the end of the bargain. Or the teacher Made it a hard test. It's not my fault for that I did bad on the test. Stereotype threat. This is a fast-acting, self-fulfilling fear of being judged based on a negative stereotype. So, someone could have a negative stereotype of middle-aged, bald guys. So, and I'm saying that because that's basically what I am, if you haven't seen who I am. Middle-aged, bald guys. So, as soon as I come in contact with people, I might have this perception that, they're not going to like me because I'm a middle-aged, bald guy, right? Or I have this fear of being judged because of that. So I might wear, I don't, but I might wear hats a lot to cover up the baldness so people don't judge me based on that. Social comparison, the process of evaluating thoughts, feelings, and behaviors and abilities in relation to similar others. That's key, to similar others. So you're comparing yourself with other people in your age group, in your maybe in your class, in your school, in your community, but people that are of similar backgrounds and similar to you. Social comparison.